It was a little past midnight when my phone started buzzing on the nightstand. At first, I thought it was an alarm or a wrong number. But when I squinted at the screen, my heart skipped. It was Emma, Lily's best friend. I hesitated for a second. Why would she call me this late? I answered, half asleep, with a shaky voice. Hello. There was silence, and then I heard her voice, trembling. Daniel. It's about Lily. My heart started racing. What about her? I asked quickly, sitting up straight. Emma took a deep breath and said something that made the air leave my lungs. She's in the hospital. There's been an accident. My mind froze. I didn't even ask for details. I just grabbed my car keys and ran out. The drive to the hospital felt like a blur of red lights and prayers. I kept thinking about our last conversation, about how we had fought that evening over something small and stupid. When I reached the hospital, Emma was already there, sitting on a bench outside the emergency ward. Her eyes were red, her hands shaking. Where is she? I asked, almost shouting. She just pointed toward the emergency room. I wanted to rush in, but a nurse stopped me, saying the doctors were still working on her. That one sentence felt like the longest hour of my life. As we sat there in silence, I asked Emma what had happened. She said Lily had left her apartment late, after drinking some wine, and took the car. She called me before she drove off, Emma said softly. She said she couldn't sleep after your fight. She said she was going to come see you. Guilt hit me like a wave. Our last words had been cold, distant. I never thought those could be the last she'd hear from me. After what felt like forever, a doctor came out. His expression said more than words ever could. We did everything we could, he said quietly. My world collapsed in that moment. I didn't even hear the rest. All I could see was the hallway spinning and Emma's hand gripping my arm to keep me from falling. They let me see her one last time. She looked peaceful, as if sleeping. I touched her hand. It was already cold. I whispered that I was sorry, that I loved her, and that I wished I could take everything back. The weight of everything we'd left unsaid crushed me. The next few days passed in a fog. The funeral, the condolences, the pitying faces. None of it felt real. I kept waiting for my phone to ring again, expecting her name to pop up. I even found myself typing messages to her, just to delete them before hitting send. The silence was unbearable. A week later, Emma came to see me. She handed me an envelope. She wrote this, she said quietly. She told me to give it to you if anything ever happened. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a short letter, Lily's handwriting, neat but emotional. She had written about our fights, how she felt I was growing distant, and how she blamed herself for it. If anything ever happens to me, she wrote, please don't hate yourself. I love you, Daniel, even when I don't say it right. I couldn't hold back the tears. Every word cut deeper than the last. After reading the letter, I went to the spot where she had the accident. It was a quiet stretch of road outside the city. I stood there for hours, replaying our memories, from the day we met to our last goodbye. I realized how fragile life really was, how pride, anger, and silence can destroy what love tries to build. Over time, Emma and I stayed in touch. She became my bridge to Lily's memory, sharing stories, photos, and little things Lily used to say. One night, Emma told me something else, something that changed how I saw everything. That night, she said softly, Lily wasn't just coming to see you. She was going to tell you something important. She found out she was pregnant. My breath caught. I stared at her in disbelief. Emma nodded, tears filling her eyes. She didn't want to tell you over the phone after your argument. She wanted to make things right first. I felt my knees weaken. The pain I thought couldn't get worse suddenly doubled. I had lost more than her. I had lost our future. That night, I sat in the dark, holding the letter again. It suddenly meant so much more. I realized she hadn't just written it out of fear. She had written it out of love, to protect me from the guilt that would come after. Every line was a reminder that even in her last hours, She thought about my heart before her own. Years have passed since that night, but I still remember the call, her voice, and those words that changed everything. I learned to forgive myself, though the ache never leaves. Sometimes I still drive to that quiet road, sit in my car, and whisper the words I never got to say. I'm sorry, Lily. I love you. Always will. And every time the wind brushes against the trees, I like to believe it's her answer, soft but certain, reminding me that love never really dies. It just changes form and finds its way back in the silence.